Hello, my name is Lucas. The light is in a different spot and it gives me a cool shadowy effect. The shadow here is from the light up there, and the darker shadow is from the light I normally use so that I don't have dark circles under my eyes when I make videos like that. Um, anyway, it's time for a Friday Reads, and I don't remember. I missed last Friday. And I missed 2 Poetry Thursdays, which is a shame. I was hoping to make it the whole year, and then I was going to be done with it. But apparently I'm done with it now. um, no, I'll come back to Poetry Thursday. Anyway, um, yeah, I have read a lot of middle grade books, and I, because like I said, a week ago or so, I am trying to win the reading race competition at work. And currently, I've got 1,000,000 words accounted for, which puts me in second place. The person in the front and lead counted their June books and books that they read throughout the year. So they have 2,100,000. They took another quiz today. That was another. Anyway, so I think they're disqualified from winning, and I have a little over 5 times more than anybody else. um, that said, I plan on beating this guy with 2,000,000 words, and it's gonna be possible if I keep reading these middle grade books, but um, it's come at the cost of any of my other hobbies or things that I'm trying to teach myself. And I'm going a little crazy. My eyes are, going a little cross. um, not too bad. But yeah, I'm not like Steve Donahue. I can't read all day. I will read for a good chunk of the day, but I need to do other things. I will go crazy. Anyway, so I read A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, I believe is his name. In the first week I read And the Mountains Echoed. Wonderful book about a brother and a sister separated when the sister is sold to a wealthy family so she can have a better life, and the remaining family, brother and father and son, can get along, get on. Very tragic, but I read A Thousand Splendid Suns, which is just so depressing. Lovely in many ways. It's about 2 Afghan women who are married to the same man. One is older than the other. And, God, it's so sad. Their husband is not a good man. And they go through, the Soviets, up through the Taliban, and just poor Afghani women. It's dedicated to Afghani women and poor Afghanistan, just. It's a beautiful book. And I read Trash Magic, something about blah, 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 recycling. I don't know who wrote it, but I taught that book. And it teaches about how plastic is made and what to do with plastic that's been reformed or that's been made. Recycle it and reuse it in some way. And it doesn't say anything about reducing your need of plastic or use of plastic, I guess, or about reducing your use of oil in many ways, which is really hard. But we had some great conversations about it. I wish I brought the posters that I made the kids make about how to reduce use and reuse things and recycle and all that stuff. Really cool, very smart kids. Yeah, that was good fun. if I was using my phone, this would be easier. I could just look. I read the first three Percy Jackson books, and I'm gonna read the next two, and I hate them. Percy Jackson is such a passive character. I don't like the voice of the narration. I don't like how the mythological characters are used. I don't know. It's really not very interesting to me. But it is for, it's a middle grade book. So I don't hold any grudges against anybody who read it when they were, in middle school or whatever. I can see the appeal to it, but I am too old to get into it. Not too old to read children's books, I've read a lot of them, or heard kids talk to me about some of their books, looked through them. Not fully reading them in depth, but a decent amount of them, and I never remember which ones. So I've read a whole bunch of other ones I don't remember. Love children's books. They can be really amazing, especially, with the art. Man, that's just a bonus. That's the coolest part. But yeah, Percy Jackson, totally not for me. I'm gonna read the next two because I need to win this competition. I also regrettably caved in. Luckily, we had these books, so I didn't have to get them, and I wouldn't have. But yeah, I read the let's not name it, shall we? The books that shall not be named. There's a hint. I've read the first three. There's four more I'm going to read, and then I will never read them again. They are. There's a lot of problems with them. They are better than Percy Jackson in many ways, but the series that shall not be named, yeah, just no. But they're fun. They just have all kinds of problems, and so does the author. So that's why the author who shall not be named, and the series that shall not be named. You know what I'm talking about. I read those, and I'm going to read the next four, and then I'm never going to read them again. And I'm not doing it for nostalgia. I am doing it purely to win, and that is what is available to me at the moment. That has a huge amount of words, and, anyway, let's talk about more interesting books. I also read The Dark Forest and Death's End to complete Remembrance of Earth's Past, that trilogy by Liu Cixin, and whoa, I made some videos about those books, but they continue the story of the three-body problem. Basically, The Dark Forest is the idea that the whole universe is a dark forest, and every species out there, all intelligent life is its own, animal that will do anything to protect itself. And if it hears a signal somewhere, they don't have any way of knowing if it's a benevolent race or a malicious race. So they will do anything they can to squash them out. And Death's End, the scope of it, I mean, the amount of time, the action, the payoff for everything that you've read in the first two books. And I should not put my hand on the wall, but I'm going to. I did, and I'm going to do it again, because I already did it in this video. Awkward. So, yeah, I made videos talking about it more in depth. I'll link them. Excellent series. Read all three of them. I also read A Canticle for Leibowitz, which is just so crazy. It's a post-apocalyptic narrative. Three short stories put into one about these monks who preserve knowledge after nuclear war and nuclear fallout. And yeah, that's not even doing it justice. They're all 600 years apart from each other. First story being 600 years from, the war, and then another 600 years for part two, and the third part, it's very cyclical in nature, with the church having all the information, and then there being a renaissance in the second part, the church preserving the information, and then a renaissance. And then distribution from the Renaissance and all that stuff, and then we end up in a Cold War that turns real hot. Really amazing. Makes you think. The voice of it is excellent. The characters are. I was surprised that I felt so much for them. Yeah. And I think that's all that I read. Pride and Prejudice. Maybe I talked about that last time, but I did read Pride and Prejudice. Excellent book. Yeah, I did talk about it last time. So now I'm reading Emma by Jane Austen. I needed something to purge my mind of the middle grade nonsense I've been reading. And Emma is a delight. My hair is not, but Emma is a delight. I recommend it. Not even halfway done, but Emma is, Jane Austen is just the queen of literature, or one of them at least. And Emma is, I quite like her. She's very funny to me. Very self-assured, which is, of course, her flaw, as we are told early on. What I love about Jane Austen, who I'm reading for, Jane Austen, July, and I'm going to read all 6 of them, all the major books anyway. And it might end up going into Jane Austen August for me. I may not finish them all, but I probably will, because I do read quite fast. Anyway, on one hand, I'm not really a fan of the prose, not really my style, but at the same time, when the characters are upset with each other, and when they just are at odds and cross with each other, and they insult each other in some way, or insult their character, it is so savage and beautiful, and I love it. But yeah, I'm reading Emma by Jane Austen, and then I'm going to read the rest of that middle grade crap, and then I'm going to read more Jane... Oh, and then, before I read that middle grade crap, I'm going to read Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis, the critical analysis YouTuber who has a PBS show that she's on, because I got a review copy from my Kindle. So I'm going to read that, and I'm going to review it, and that will be what I do for my weekend. And then I will, once I'm done working on that, I will read crap. Okay, bye.